No.
The fire
Anyway.
door, man. The fire door
Well,
burned
yeah,
in the fire. I have a fireproof safe, but it's only good to a certain amount of degrees. What do they
Right.
call it?
And
Kelvins?
you
What's
have to,
what
yeah, no, Kelvin. Yeah, that's
Kelvin? Yeah.
276 is, anyway, the safe may be fireproof, but the contents inside, that's a whole different ball game, right? So
right.
my son had his Glock and I had an old Browning in a fireproof safe, and they're just tostados, man.
They melted.
Yeah, nothing
The
left.
gun melted. The metal in the gun melted.
No, all the plastic polymers all melted, and it's just, scrap metal.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I wonder what degree does gold melt at? I wonder what gold melts at.
Well,
Because if you
there's
had
always a
jewelry in
little
the
bit
safe,
of zinc inside the gold just to keep it a little bit firmer, but that you can just Google that.
Yeah, yeah. It's
It's
well,
pretty
in
low.
Thailand,
635 degrees, I think.
35 degrees, it would freeze first.
635.
1,948 Fahrenheit.
Okay, I'm wrong.
Okay, well that's
So
pretty hot.
they,
That's hotter than the average house fire.
no,
Oh
yeah,
no!
we were well over 2,000
How did you
Degrees
know that?
Fahrenheit.
in the Palisades. Well, because they had all the aluminum wheels melted, all of the aluminum chassis on cars melted. I have one
Lithium caught
photo.
on fire.
There's one vehicle that was amazing in the alley behind me. The only thing that was left was the steel block and the drivetrain. And you had to look at it for a couple of minutes and go, "Oh, that was a car."
Wow.
It was just everything was gone. The only thing that was left was, a little bit of the steel frame from the engine compartment, and everything else. It looked like, I think it was an Audi. So they use a lot of aluminum, and all of the aluminum just melted straight down.
Hmm. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, anyway, so I have a fireproof safe. I don't know what made me think of that. Oh yeah, because we were talking about what the problems were with the house. So the hinge on the door, I hate it. I hate when the door shuts behind you like that. You're carrying in groceries and the doors, so I had it disconnected. I had it disconnected. But the inspector found that, and that actually is a code violation. So I had to go out and spend $8 to get two hinges so the door closes by itself. And the third thing, and we'll go backwards to go forwards, because the first thing was the fire smoke detector was too low, and so I put it on the ceiling. And then the last thing is that I had the roof done, and then there's some micro cracks in the roof, and they want the micro cracks fixed. So I hired a roofing company to come out tomorrow, and they'll fix the micro cracks. And that's it. And they accepted. They've signed off on they've signed on the house. So on Friday, the next thing that's going to happen is the appraisal. The bank appraisal will come out to the house, and they will do the appraisal, and then so we're barreling ahead at breakneck speed. It will be by the 22nd of February. We will know whether that the sale is going to go through, and the money goes hard on the 22nd of February. So there you go. I'm looking forward to it. Now, what am I going to do with that money?
Well, what are you
I
going to
thought
do
at
about your
first, well, oh, this is cool. They are taking everything. Because these two guys are coming from an apartment life, they don't have hardly anything, and they would have to go out and buy everything, and they like my stuff. So they said, leave everything, and we'll take what we want, and we'll sell the rest. And I said, done deal.
nice?
Good.
So, it's a win, win,
Hopefully
win,
they're
win for everybody.
financing. Yeah, hopefully their financing, pushes through.
Well, that's
The
all
damn
about the
deal.
appraisal, because they're putting down 100 grand. So that should do it.
Right.
I mean, I can't imagine it wouldn't do it.
Is that non-refundable?
What do you mean it's
No,
non-refundable?
it's refundable within a time period.
No.
Yeah, as of the 22nd.
Some deals you put down earnest money or whatever, and if your finance doesn't go through, you don't get it back.
Right.
Oh no, because they're going for an FHA loan. Part of the rules of that is if they don't get accepted for the loan, that I got to give them back their deposit. But it doesn't matter. I mean, these are nice guys, and they want the house, and I want them to have the house. I think they're the perfect couple for the house. I'm taking for granted that they are a couple. I just know that, they're two guys that want to buy a house together, and they could be best of friends. So, anyway, I'm looking forward to it.
So, Jan, are you divesting some of your tour jackets?
I don't have that many tour jackets, Greg. I looked at them, and but that's why I asked you to send me your address, but I never got it.
Of course you have it. I've sent it to you twice.
Where did you send it? Don't. I mean, did you text it to me? Because I didn't get it.
Dude.
Yeah, do it. Do it to my email address, which when we go offline, I'll give it to you again.
No,
but it is my name.
Yeah. Okay.
He sent it to Jan@thebradybunch.com. That's right.
Yeah.
Jan at BradyBunch.com.
That's right. What are you doing in Southern California with this pastel building with a floating staircase? I mean, that's not your house.
Who are you talking
you
about?
You didn't get it. I'm talking about the Brady Bunch's home.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm right over the head.
Yeah,
that's it.
I know.
That's
Sorry.
it. Anyway, I've got a couple of other things to talk about. So anyway, we're getting a lot of comments, and a lot of the comments are coming from D-Feedback, the D-Feedback show. So I thought what I would do right now is I'd read you some of the comments, and you guys can answer these people who have asked comments. Okay? So Dan here, 13. Yeah, we're live. We're live.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't hear you introduce your show, so I didn't think we were live yet.
Yes.
You're right.
By the way.
Hey, look, if you don't know what you're watching, keep watching. All right. That's all I could say. But it's Thinking Out Loud with Friends. And remember, everything here today is an opinion. So there we go. Do your own research. All right. Here we go.
Yeah.
And we're going to do some research for you. But again, everything you hear today is an opinion. So do your own research. All right. How do you like that? I like it. I like it. Okay. Here we go. So Dan Hare, 1340, commented, "Now, that was an interesting discussion. Well orchestrated by SoundBroker. I'm looking forward to employing," let me see what else he says. "I'm looking forward to employing my order D-Feedback. Maybe V2 will be available when it arrives." Great. Next comment. Paul Norden, 5219, commented, 20-30, you are probably referring to Meyer Sound Space Map Go. And that was in the D-Feedback. Anybody know what he's talking about?
Absolutely false is my answer to that. No relation. What Devin is doing to Space Map Go. I mean, I'm sorry. It's a local neural net engine with an algorithm trained to recognize, with V1, trained to recognize vocals. And then everything else is reversed IR and eliminated. Okay.
Did you see the one this morning about the guy who wanted to mic the piano?
Yeah. Have good luck.
That's what I said. I'm like, why would you want to put D-Feedback on a piano?
Well, we have an expert piano micer in the room. We definitely have an expert in the room. David Dansky has mic'd more pianos in his career, and he does the miking for Yoshiki, which is an amazing, a major star.
If you put up a microphones on a piano and you want to rumble the room, they're going to feedback.
Right.
But if you get a
Even if you
Yamaha
put them
mic,
inside?
well, yeah, they're still going to rumble. But the Yamaha miking system, which the LA Symphony uses, and I don't know who else, but I use it with Yoshiki. It's a small mic that goes right underneath the soundboard, and it's isolated enough that you can have thunder in the room, and it never feeds back. So the way I mic a piano is I use the Yamaha for the low end, and I use the AMT, Applied Mic Technologies M40 for the rest of the mic, the piano.
Right.
And that's all I need on a piano, and it sounds incredible. And
What do you think about DPA at NAMM showed those
yeah, they sounded really good, but what kind of
about
isolation is there? You know, I mean, they sounded great. They had it. Which one did you like? Yeah, the green one, the blue one. You know, they had it by colors, right?
Yeah.
And I picked the one that I liked, and it sounded nicer than the others. But that's in an isolated environment.
Right. You're right. You know, and live is, you know.
I mean, listen. You know, the DPA mics are the standard. You know, everybody uses them because they sound great.
They
And what
do.
I'm talking about is extenuating circumstances. What I'm talking about is shaking a room with low end on a 9-foot grand piano.
Right.
That's an animal than what most people have to deal with.
Right.
But I'm a guy that's what he does. The piano is what he plays. He plays a $170,000 piano, and I give him room shaking sound, and he's happy. So,
Total respect.
oh, we lost.
But there's a lot of people that do
I don't hear anybody.
MIDI pianos, and you know,
something.
and they put a box around it to make it look like a grand piano.
I don't hear a thing. What's going on?
Well, you don't hear a thing. Well, they go to your
my volume is up.
Audiologist. Go to your audiologist. I have to mute him because we can hear him, but he can't hear us. Anyway, we'll come back to David when he gets his system together. Let's go to the next comment, and this is from Tom E.H. Canada. Commented, thanks, excellent work. Do any of your developers work in Python or Linux? Maybe a dedicated stripped down.
Well, I'm going to let's see in a minute.
Okay, let's see if I can find it. So many comments.
That doesn't, Python or Linux has nothing to do with running a local neural engine directly calling to a CPU. So the answer is no, because they don't need them.
Okay, there you have it. All right, let's moving on. Next question. Great discussions, guys. I am the owner of DFeedback, and it's amazing for corporate work. Let's see. Every time I click on one of these links.
And who was the person who said that?
Let me see here. Who did say that? BTOTHOMPS said that. Great discussion, guys. I'm an owner of DFeedback, and it's amazing for corporate and music work using. And why every time I click on this? Oh, here it is. I got it. Using it occasionally on podcasts as well to clean up dialogue. It is really magic. So there you have it, man. Next. Now that was, this is from Dan here, 1340. Now that was an interesting discussion, well orchestrated by SoundBroker. I'm looking forward to employing my ordered D feedback. Okay. Next. My eyes are going bad on me. Lucio Zigato. Exciting times. Digico Group really shouldn't miss the boat.
Digico engines can't handle it.
Okay, Showcase Live 247. Robert Scoville's just said exactly what I felt the first time using DFeedback. I do mostly conferences, but gee, you can just incredible headroom with the mics as never before. Then
Great.
Kazi Maja Jazi said, the future is here. Exciting. So we got a lot of comments. Send in your comments. I'll read them,
Right.
and we'll have a lot of fun with them. Now,
Wait.
we got another comment. We got another comment from Greg McVeigh. And as a little side note, right now, live, I am on Roadies and Rebels podcast with Greg McVeigh. And it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs. So if you listen to it wherever your favorite podcast is, whatever your favorite podcast player is. But I got a text from Greg saying that Dave Rat had ran into Robert Scoville.
Yep. At NAM. And
I think it was at EAW. He went to visit him at EAW.
He put out a YouTube video about D-feedback. He ran it through its paces.
Yeah, it looked great.
So I asked him to come on to the show, but he said to me that he was traveling and, he doesn't like to do talking head stuff. He likes to do more of, breaking down equipment stuff. And he's doing quite well. He's got, he had 11,000 views on that feedback, compared to our, paltry couple of thousand.
It pushed his feed count on YouTube over 100,000.
Yeah, that's what he said. So he's got a lot. I mean, hey, congratulations to Dave Rat. There's a possibility that that could happen to all of us.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, the Seattle Seahawks have just arrived.
Uh-oh.
The winner of the Super Bowl is here now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I had a lot to do with that.
Didn't you have a party at your house?
Not really. I had one of my guys came over. It was his birthday, and we just hung out with him and Denise.
You're the running back coach, right?
And you didn't have salmon.
Didn't have what?
And you didn't have salmon. You didn't read my comment to your Facebook post.
Oh, no, sorry. Chili and sliders and stuff like that.
Looks like you're working hard over there with sawdust. You've been sawing wood?
I've been building a bunch of cases for a client, which I don't normally do. I usually just do them for me.
Right. I got to tell you, Kurt, I have a question for you. How many treats did Berkeley get?
Plenty.
All right. Just saying. That's an inside joke, but
we always win when he wears his little Seahawks jersey.
Yep.
Now I had to stop. I couldn't stop because we did it all season.
Yeah.
You want to hear an interesting statistic about the Seahawks? Okay, so it seems like I'll read the article. Seahawks, a franchise that many league insiders believe will be put on the market later this year and fetch a record price for a control sale, likely to exceed $7 billion with a B, $7 billion. The potential sale has gained a lot of attention, in part because the late Microsoft co-founder, Paul Allen, who purchased the team for just $194 million. Now, I'm not good at math, so somebody out there has to figure out how much profit that is. But here's the catch. He bought this for $119.97, and he stipulated in his will that the proceeds from the sale of these sports assets must be donated to charity.
Yeah, it'll all go to his Brain Institute and to arts and kids.
That's great.
We do several fundraisers a year that nobody knows about that do that.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I mean, that's a lot of money. I mean, 194 minus 7 billion. That's more money than I can figure out how to count.
I just read a whole story about how that happened. That he had cancer, and he was fighting cancer, and he went to talk to Gates and the other guy, and he heard them over talking, taking over his shares and acing him out of Microsoft. And he got so pissed that he walked away from Microsoft, took all of his money and bought the Seahawks. and made him even richer.
Well, the guy that the Nordstrom sold it to was trying to move the team and literally had equipment on a truck and stuff, and they were headed out of town, and Paul stepped in and said, "No, you're not doing that." And that's why he bought the Seahawks, was to keep them from leaving.
Right. That was part of the story. I forgot about that part.
2018.
Yep.
And then
also
at that same time, Greg.
Or no, not 2018. Way earlier than that. He died in 2018.
Right. And beyond that, you know, there's a huge soccer league, you know, European Football League, and they're huge in Seattle. They're monsters. And I was in Atlanta when the local club, Atlanta club, played Seattle, and you know, in a club that was featured actually in a movie. It's called O'Malley's Pub, and you know, and I made $500 betting against Atlanta in the club when they were playing Seattle, and I just said, "You have no idea what you're walking into." So, yeah, and I took my winnings.
Now, did Paul Allen lend you the money?
Huh?
Did Paul Allen lend you the money to bet on it, or no?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I would have sworn we were talking about Paul Allen. All right.
But Paul Allen owned that team as well, I believe.
He owned the soccer team too? Did Paul Allen own the soccer team, Kurt?
No.
A
guy that I went to high school with, who started the You Frame It franchise, actually, him and oh God, what's the guy's name? The comedian, Drew Carey. They own the Sounder.
Wow.
Huh. Well, I'll tell you one thing that he did do. He built the Jimi Hendrix Museum. Is that correct? Am I calling that correct? The Jimi Hendrix Museum?
Now it's called Mopop, Museum of Pop Culture, because he branched out into sci-fi. He's got Captain Kirk's chair and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we've been the vendor in there since it opened.
Yeah.
My daughter was 6 months old when we started doing gigs there, and she's engaged and almost 3 years out of college.
What's all that stuff flying around you? What's all that stuff? Is that? Are those bugs, or what do you got flying around you?
I'm sure it's sawdust.
Wow, it's a lot. It looks like almost snowing where you are.
I'm in my shop, and it's just, there's a lot of sawdust going on. I've been working in here for days.
You don't wear one of those masks?
If it's necessary. I mean, I'm just drilling a hole in a piece of plywood right now. I don't really need it for that.
Oh, okay. Well, very, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, in regards to the Jimi Hendrix Museum, when he liquidated, he had these seats that were moving up and down, and he had lots of speakers, and I mean, it was a really nice venue. But evidently, when they decided to disband it, I was involved in liquidating the equipment from that room.
No, nothing got liquidated. They got rid of a motion ride. That's all. It's still
That's
open.
it. The motion. Yeah, the motion ride. That was it. And there was also some speakers on that as well. A lot of speakers.
There was a bunch of surround stuff that all got bought by somebody in Vegas.
That's right.
SoundBroker.com. Yes.
It was the designers of the room. They designed that motion ride, and they were the ones who ended things.
That was just the ride. They turned that into exhibit space. Everything else is still up and going. We got gigs there this week. In fact, what we're doing this weekend is the first of 3 of these youth sort of battle of the bands things. And it's a year-long program that Paul funds with no media hype or press for youth education in music and arts. And so this is the culmination of it. These kids from inner city or underprivileged places get to go and have music lessons and deal with pros and everything. And then we went in a couple weeks ago and had a meeting and told them like how to write up a stage plot and how to get their input list together and how to make sure that their stuff all worked when they got there. And then they all get to go perform. And after that, they get studio time and a bunch of gear.
So
That's very
are
cool.
there going to be gambles involved?
Absolutely. There's going to be
A Purdue 32, maybe?
Ben's going to mix it because I'll be out of town. But yes, the Purdue 32 is getting prepped as we speak.
Wow, look how clean that is. Not one piece of sawdust on it.
No, it's in a different room. And I just used this to mix and multi-track Denise's band last week. And there's the outboard rack.
Yep. Upper Rack 3.
And I got a bunch of them. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah,
Very nice.
That'll mix and record the youth thing for 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Very, very cool. So I believe Ken Porter right now, although he's not in the room right now, I believe he's on his way to Australia, which is, you know.
For who?
I don't know. I don't remember. Sorry. The old noggin is not up to speed anymore on remembering anything that isn't directly related to the noggin.
Yeah, I used to do these meetings for this. They were computer guys, code writing people, but they did. They used to go to a lot of great B markets to do their show every year. That I did for about 7 or 8 years, and one of those markets was Seattle, and we got to have a party inside the then Experience Music Project. Was what's the original name of that?
Was there a band?
I don't think there was a band. I think it was just hors d'oeuvres and cocktails and walk around the museum without the public involved. So there's a few hundred people. And
did you see the Electric Lady console?
I don't remember. It was quite a while ago. It was probably close to.
That's a sight that's a sight.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's right next to where we mixed from. So you turn around and you walk over there 10 feet and you're looking at the Electric Lady desk.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So anyway, I want to thank you, Greg, for turning me on to a wonderful company called Cloaked. And they are really doing a great job. However, they're having a little problem right now. And they're having a problem with the actual cloaking part of the phone call. So, but they're working on it. They haven't figured out how to fix it yet, but they are working on it, and they're getting great customer service. They reached out to me, and we had a long conversation.
Right, and you're on an Apple device, correct?
I'm on an iPhone, yes.
Yes, and Apple did a change with one of the last updates that the developers are going to have to work around. It's not only Cloaked, it's also everyone at Cloaked, Concur, everybody who does that. Apple, in their wonderful wisdom, and I applaud them for it, decided to go ahead and do a generic intercept as part of the OS of an incoming phone call.
Yes.
And we had these apps, it's also, harmed apps like we've all heard about RoboKiller, and all these apps have been around for quite some time. They did that with no notice to all the developers. So congratulations for Apple for doing that. For the people who do not,
yeah, I understand. They almost Sherlock these guys, including T-Mobile. But I would have to say that of all of the ones that I've used, cloak is by far the best. And not only that, they remove your name from all these data brokers.
Yep.
They've removed me right now, as of right this second. They've removed me from 391 different data brokers.
And how
That's
long have you
insane.
been a member?
Well, just about a month. We should be getting our checks soon. We should be getting our gift cards, you and me.
Yep. And I'll just show you me. I've been a member for. Can
Wow,
you see
look
that?
at that. Yeah, 3,023 data brokers have removed information of Greg Baker, you know? So
I'm a ghost.
So let me give you his phone number right now and email.
Yeah. And Jan, you know.
Anyway, one other thing about that. So now the state of California, for you guys that live in California, they now have this thing called Drop. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
You guys heard about Drop?
Yeah, you
D-R-O-P?
mentioned it. Yeah.
I did? I'm getting old.
You
Anyway,
mentioned it
it's a free
last week.
California site. It's called Delete Your Data. And basically it is, let me see if I can find it for you. I can't find it, but Google Drop. And for California, you have to be a California resident. So there you go. Now, here's something very interesting that I wanted to bring up to you guys because, you know, basically when I saw this article, normally I like to talk about things that are not controversial, you know, and in this case, I'm sure we're going to get very controversial in this thing.
What do you
Let
say?
me find,
Wait a minute.
sorry. I'm going to tell you something right now. Hey, you know, gotta get back to my notes here. All right. You ready for this? You ready for this story? This I'm sure we're going to find very controversial. Joshua Zimmerman just walked in the room. Okay. You ready for this? There is now a study that Vice.com has put together, and I'll read you the headline. College students can't put their phone down even during sex.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, what the hell? Unbelievable. What's happening to the kids of today?
Well,
Well,
I've met a couple of people that are up high in Silicon Valley, you know, that are CIOs and CTOs, and they've been in the Valley for a while. And it's no secret, but all of this technology was developed purposefully to addict users. And
addict
and
is a
they and they
strong
knew
word.
exactly what they were doing. And some of the older guys, you know, that are our age are regretting that they actually assisted in, you know, kind of the early conceptual stuff, but this stuff was designed to be like tobacco. You know, once you start smoking, you know, the chemicals get in you and you can't put it down. But it was designed specifically to be addictive, and you know, they
No,
will also tell you that they were targeting, you know, the younger demographic, let's just call it that.
absolutely.
A lot like
I
Jeffrey
don't think.
Epstein.
No, Chris, I may tone down what you said. I think addictive. I think the result is your statement addictive, but it wasn't designed for that. These guys were
Oh no, I disagree with
they
that,
were
Greg.
designing somebody for more engagement, so they can sell that to others and monetize that, so they can go ahead and pay off their angel funding, and then go public, and then when you're public, you got to make more, and you got to make more. I think you are right with the result being addictive. I, you know, that I don't think the design intent was addictive. That's a strong word. The result is, I agree with you with that.
They would use the word, oh, well, we just want to have customer engagement with the software.
There we go. There we go.
So that's just a really nice way of
yeah.
obfuscating the truth.
Yeah, like they say, the first one is free, and the rest one you got to buy from me. You got to keep buying it from me. When I was a college student, I didn't have my phone that I would interrupt for sex, but I sure take a bump or two. As we were doing our bumping in the grind.
Jan, our phones were this big.
I didn't have a phone in those days. There were no phones where I had beepers. It was a beeper.
Yeah,
I'll tell you. And I never got out of bed to
My first amps analog phone was the Motorola that had like a carrying case and it had a big ass battery and the amps antenna and yeah.
Well, obviously the kids have never heard of like Gorilla Grips because there's a way to have it nearby without holding it.
I'll tell you, I remember the first time I ever saw a mobile phone. I remember it really, really well. I was having dinner at Musso and Frank, and it was really crowded. Musso and Frank's a popular watering hole. And the way it was sitting down, like less than a foot away from me, the other chair and it was Jerry Brown, the governor of California. And he had a mobile phone, and I saw it, and I was amazed by it. And we started talking about it. Oh, this is brand new. It's going to be everywhere soon. But it was huge. It was almost like carrying around a portable phone booth.
Speaking of telecommunication, do y'all remember the first time you saw a Motorola flip?
Oh, I had to have one.
Oh yeah, it was off the chart. I mean, Motorola was
the
so
Nokia
good.
3000 series, that 3310 or whatever.
Really thin.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And you can go, you could be so bad, you can go, well, let me call her. Hey, babe.
I can't tell you how many times I flipped it open and said, beam me up, Scotty. Beam me up. And when you think about it, Star Trek had so many things in the writing that have come to fruition today. Like, for example, Tang. There was no Tang. Oh, no.
No, that wasn't Star Trek. That was NASA who did
joke. That. Yeah, and I joke. No, I'm saying, the transporter, the telephone, the communication device.
So there was a great court case back in the day about the tablet and if that was unique trade dress and could be patented. And then they went back to, I believe it was Soylent Green, and in the movie, the guy has what looks like an iPad. This is a film that was made in the mid 70s or something.
Right.
And he kind of welcomes you in to die, right? You're going to get a carrot and a bowl of beef stew, and then they're going to inject you and you're gone. And he has an iPad. So they actually introduced that to evidence as previous art.
Yeah.
And that saved this slab from being patentable.
Right. And I tell you another citation, Chris, is if you look at about 40 minutes into Spielberg's one of his first films with George Lucas, THX 1138. There's a tablet, and I don't need to go through that. Do your own research and look it up. But there's a tablet that they carried around. I believe that was also cited in a later case, but I may be wrong.
No. Those were previous art, so they were trying to say, hey, this stuff's already, been out there, and you can't keep us from using that general design.
I
Right.
highly
And
recommend anybody, who's interested in film and sci-fi and all that kind of stuff, look back to some of the original stuff like THX 1138. It's
a 2001 Space Odyssey. How about that?
yeah. It was
Anybody know what
inspired by
THX
that.
stands for?
Say again.
THX, like Dolby THX.
No,
Anybody know what
yes,
it is?
THX 1138.
Yeah, no, but what
What
does
does it stand for? What does
THX
it mean?
stand for?
What
Oh
does
no,
it
that
mean?
was
What's the
his
meaning of life?
THX 1138
Yeah,
was the main character's
yeah. So THX,
ID.
But he had a
THX, and
meaning.
THX in the audio world was the Tom Holman extravaganza.
Yeah.
And it was this guy that developed this audio spec. And, like when you go in and it says THX, the audience is listening. That
Boom.
was the Tom Holman extravaganza.
Right.
Yeah, I
Shouldn't it
remember it
That
was
be
a name. I couldn't
THE?
remember his name.
Shouldn't it
yeah.
be THE, not THX?
No.
Well, that
No.
would be and just wouldn't be nearly as interesting as
The theater
THX.
experience.
Yeah.
That was
Another
the
thing
market.
from Star Trek is that, like there's especially I remember it distinctly in episode 4 of the movie where Scotty is designing aluminum plexiglass, which they haven't designed
Yes.
yet, but it's still coming,
Moving forward. Yeah. The one where
Yeah,
they
but
go and save all the
the
whales.
whales. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's one scene where he's working on a computer and he says, computer. And he starts telling the computer doesn't do anything. But today, now, you got Claude, Copilot, and now it's doing it. It's,
Right. But
way ahead
I
of
gotta
its time.
tell you, if I'm gonna say this to the world, if y'all haven't watched it, forget what all the people say about it. Watch the new Star Trek series, Starfleet Academy on Paramount. There's a lot of people saying this and that, but I'm telling you what, it's a breath of fresh air, and the writers are so good, and it's done so well. And if you know about Star Trek, they reach back and bring all those arcs into the story. I think it's very well written. The production is very good. And at 1 a.m., my local time, I have an alarm that's going to wake my butt up, and I'm going to watch it. So,
And the sound
Very
is so
good.
good that sometimes you have to wear a diaper.
no, I got to tell you, speaking of diapers, Kurt.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got a phone call from the guy who's doing Artemis 2. And he said, "Did you have to wear these?" And I just said, F&A, Bubba. Suck it up.
Everybody had to wear diapers on working on the Artemis 2 when you were working on that kind of low-end subwoofing?
I'm not going to
You're under an
answer that
NDA,
publicly.
right? You can't answer
Neither
that. Go ahead.
confirm
still
nor
under an
deny.
NDA. But
You neither confirm nor deny.
all I'm saying, Kurt, is that he just said, "Great, did you?" And I went, "A gig is a gig, sir."
Hey, Will, I wish Fred was in the room right now to talk about this next thing that I want to talk about. But just from a production standpoint of view, not whether not from a completely non-political way, but just for production. What did you think of the Bad Bunny performance? I thought it was amazing. I mean, the production level of what they did was amazing.
Production level, they had constraints because of last Super Bowl. They put the production designers put out all these stages out onto the field, and it dented the turf. So the NFL said you can only have 25 wheeled stages out onto the field, and they can only weigh this amount. I don't know what.
That's right. They went back to carts. I read that they went back to carts this year.
They went back
Last
to
year
carts.
they didn't use carts.
That's not why they used carts. They used carts because there was no roof. When there was a roof in the last 2 years, they just had a flown PA already. So
No, we're not talking about the gear.
No, he's talking about the audio carts. He's talking about ATK.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about audio carts. I'm talking about the stages where
Right.
the artists perform.
Right. The audio carts were not on the audio carts were not on the field.
Right. Now, this time there were 4 carts in every corner. If you look at it, David, they were all L-acoustic carts. Right. Yep. And they were pointed way up in all 4 corners. And of course they tied, into Levi Stadium has a really good, house PA system. And it's all acoustic. So, in that level of production, there were some serious people on sound designer.
Yeah, because they had a lot of different little bands playing.
How was
they
that?
had a lot.
How was that
Huh?
How is that
How is that not
Meyer
Meyer
where it is?
Yeah,
one
well,
at a time.
because Kurt, you weren't called.
Yeah, no, I was not called.
Well, anyway, I thought the production value of it and the sound actually sounded really good. Whoever mixed that show did a great job.
And the thing I liked was the novel idea of the grass. Those were all cast call artists, and they were in green costume to look like sugarcane. And there was 160 of them, and they moved all around on that.
Those were people inside that? Those were costumes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that fooled me then.
There's a clip, if you look at the stop frame of, that they always show every year of everything moving on, you can see they're all walking. Now, I personally need to go to YouTube to maybe look at it for the production value. I did not watch it because I don't give a flying fuck about rap music, and I don't support Jay-Z. I think them signing a multi-year contract with him, all the entertainment has been rap lately, which is fine if that's what they want to do, but I will not participate. And I clicked out and I didn't watch it. I have no interest.
I didn't know that it was rap. I mean, of course, I really didn't think of it as rap.
He doesn't sing.
Yeah, no, but we're getting off track. We should I look at it for the production value.
Yeah,
that's how I looked at it too.
The production value is always outstanding, and the way they move all that stuff on and off, it's very incredible. But I had no interest because of the content of. I don't like rap music. I muted last year when Kendrick Lamar. I muted it out. I have no interest.
I didn't like the last year at all, but I didn't think the production. I want to stop. I didn't think the production value of the Kendrick Lamar show was worth a damn. I thought the audio was horrible.
Yeah.
On the year before.
The thing is, they try to cram in all these guest artists and all this is, the pattern has been the same for several years now. And everything becomes a snippet medley with where everything's visual, and
of course. Audio takes
I want to listen to albums. I don't listen to singles.
Right. What do you think?
But I'm not talking about whether, I'm not talking about the music itself. I'm talking about the production value of how it came across. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I would say the production, they always do a great job. Their production value is always great, but.
I mean, in reality, I couldn't tell you one song that this guy does. I don't know anything about him, but that's not my genre of music, which I listen to. But when I saw the production value, I mean, I was even fooled just now. I just found out that those grass things were costumes. I thought I didn't know how they did that.
I don't think any of
And
us are exactly the target demographic anymore.
No. And
Yeah.
that's fine. And I've watched some of them in the past with artists that I didn't particularly care for to see the production value, but they're I don't know. To me,
It's always,
there's sort of
Wayne, it's
they
always
have
about,
restrictions, so there's a certain amount of sameness to it. They have to roll the shit on in 5 minutes, and they've got 15 minutes, and blah blah blah. There's limitations just based on the logistics of the entire exercise.
look, doesn't it all come down? Yeah, Greg.
I've done 3.5 Super Bowls, and I'll tell you, there's a boatload of production going on. It doesn't matter who's singing or not, and I agree with you. The question I would ask you, Wayne, is, okay, the past few have been wrong. Did you like Lady Gaga falling from the stage that Super Bowl? Did you see that?
Yeah,
Whether
when she
you like
jumped
Lady
off and threw the
Gaga or
football.
not,
I might have. I don't vividly remember it. I mean, Lady Gaga. Look, Lady Gaga. I don't like all of her music, but
no,
she's
no.
a fucking talent.
Yeah,
And she can actually sing. Like
for
her stuff with
me,
Tony Bennett and some of her songs. Hey, a well-crafted pop song is a great
right.
crafted pop song. I don't care. Madonna is a fucking weirdo, but
Right.
she produced with
Puts on
her
a show.
team. She did some great pop tunes, and
Right.
I've
I tell
always
you what,
recognized that.
and I'll tell you directly, in all the Super Bowls that I've seen in my lifetime, I think Prince in the Rain in Miami, in my opinion, they could have pulled the plug on that show. It was pouring down rain, and he said no. That was pretty darn good.
Yeah, that was
Greg,
great.
was it
Jackson also.
Greg, was it you who told me the story that when they woke him up in the morning and said, that it's going to be raining? What do you want to do? And you didn't hear the story? I'll tell you a story that I heard just recently. And they woke him up in the morning and they said that it's going to be raining. He says, "What do you want to do?" He says, "Could we make it rain harder?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other part about this year's Super Bowl, congrats to Kurt, who lives in Seattle, but it was not an overly compelling game to watch.
I tell you what, Seattle crushed them.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, they just stifled them. Like New England, they didn't seem like they were ready to play. Certainly not offensively.
There's a movie called the movie is called On Any Given Sunday, with Al Pacino. And on any given Sunday, any professional team can win. And to me, although I do like football, I hate defensive games. I like offensive games. And this, you must have been in hog heaven then.
Well, I mean, I was a fan. My grandparents lived in Chicago, so I was a fan of the Bears. So the '85 Bears,
Oh yeah.
How could you not
and
like
they
that?
had serious attitude then too.
Yeah. I just thought, we had one of the greatest overall. The NFL playoffs this year yielded some of the best football games I've ever seen. Most exciting games, a whole bunch of them. And unfortunately, the Super Bowl, like I said, congrats to the winning team, but I didn't find it to be an overly compelling game. I mean, it was like you knew it was going to be a low scoring. That it didn't take that long to figure out that New England was going to have a really tough time scoring,
right?
And that that they weren't going anywhere.
Right.
Well,
right.
You're
they
right.
Still won't take us seriously next year.
Yeah.
It'll be the same thing.
One of my second Super Bowl that I worked at in New Orleans, it was at the height of the Patriots. It was You know, it was Tom Brady, Belichick. They had everybody. They had Gronk. They had Edelman, and they were unstoppable. And people complained about all that, you know, and it's saying that, oh, it's boring, everything like that they're doing. But to those people, they did it right until they came up to that game. You know, it can turn out to be a shootout, or it can, you know. I look back to Mark Warner with St. Louis, the greatest show on earth. Oh my God!
Kurt
You know,
Warner.
they were, you know, they were exciting.
I thought when you said Mark, I thought you meant Grand Funk Railroad.
No, not Mark
Mark Warner. Oh,
Kurt Warner was his
yeah,
quarterback's
Kurt.
name.
I'm sorry, Mark Kurt. And
yeah.
so, yeah,
That's
you
why I got
got me, Jim.
confused.
I was conflating. Okay.
You know, and of course you're going to complain. I mean, hey, Tom Brady didn't show up. Bill Belichick didn't show up. Gronk didn't show up. Nobody showed up from the old team. Nobody, it seemed,
When
for the Super Bowl.
they were there, they all
Oh,
were
they
there.
were? Well,
Yeah.
maybe I wasn't there.
They
That's
weren't
why I
on the
didn't see
field.
him.
Well, you probably didn't watch the entire 6-hour pregame show then, which I didn't
That's
either.
for sure. I didn't watch, you know, it was like, you know, my wife, of course, doesn't really know football. And we're watching it. And I tried to explain to her that, you know, how heavy and how big these guys are on the front line, you know, that they're over 140 kilos, you know, and they're huge people. These people are
But
huge.
Jan, did you turn on the Puppy Bowl? I mean, come
We
on.
watched it on the news. We watched it on the news.
Oh man. I mean, come on. The puppies going back and forth with the cat, with the meow cat cheerleaders. I mean, you
Meow
know,
meow
the
meow
boat
meow
would
meow
have
meow
melted.
meow meow. No, she doesn't like animals that much. I mean, she tolerates them. Cats seem to whenever we get around a cat at home, you know, all of a sudden they seem to arch their back, and I don't know why they do that. But they all
Dan, Dan, maybe you should, or you know, I don't know.
You know what I noticed here, and I don't know what's changed, except everywhere I go now, I see dogs in all of the stores. You know, these you know, in baskets and baby carts. I can't believe how many. What are they? What kind of dog do they call it? They call that a comfort dog or
Service dog now. They're calling them
a
service
service
dogs.
dog.
Yeah,
Service
they're
dog. I don't. It seems everybody needs a service dog.
well up here in Wisconsin. We have a lot of hardware stores, and a lot of them are becoming pet friendly because people are training their dogs. So they got a lot of dog training places around
Right.
here. So they train their dogs. So they're like, hey, if your dog's trained and on a leash and doesn't crap on the floor, yeah, you can let it in as long as you know it doesn't attack people. Yeah, you can bring it in.
Last
I
year,
mean, I prefer babies. I prefer dogs over babies in restaurants, man. I'll tell you that.
Well, I get
last
that.
year I was on a Delta flight from Atlanta to Kansas City, and I got upgraded to business class, so I was sitting there, and the lady across the aisle, you know, who was a veteran, and God bless her, she had a Saint Bernard. She bought both seats, and God bless that Saint Bernard. He just laid there and was calm. And when people came up to it, it was just, and he chilled, you know, he chilled the entire, that part of the cabin. And, you know, and that was, that, you know, that animal was connected to that wonderful veteran. And, you know, and I can't,
Do you think it was drinking any of the brandy from the cask around its neck? Do you think that was what it was?
No. But he did have some of the snacks that they came around. Because it was underneath 900 miles. If any of y'all don't know, any domestic flight in the United States, if you go over 900 miles, you get a hot meal. Okay, you don't get, would you like pretzels or would you like sun chips? And here are your peanuts,
Wait a second. You're saying that airlines have to feed you if you fly over 900 miles?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
I fly over 900 miles all the time. Maybe you can buy a hot meal, but they don't give it to you.
Well, what class are you flying?
Which what?
Oh, business class. Business class, they feed you good.
Business class has got food every flight. No, I'm flying economy plus.
Economy plus. If you're in economy plus, American, Delta, or United, if you go over 900 miles, let's say, David, if you're flying from LAX to JFK, you're going to get a meal.
No, I do it all the time, and I don't get a meal.
Well, I think you should
look into that.
Nobody gets a meal, not just me. Nobody gets a meal. And every time I've flown over 900 miles, which is 50% of the time I fly, I've never gotten a meal.
There's a rule there. That's all I'm saying.
American Airlines doesn't seem to give a shit.
Well, I won't get into that. Yeah, I agree.
Well, I'm telling you, what I also found out about the airlines, they're really getting very stickler about the size of your bag, your carry-on bag, and the weight and stuff like that, which is insane.
22 by 22 by, I think, 40. See you, Chris.
Hey, see you, Chris. That's it. I just had to buy a new backpack for myself for traveling to get a lighter backpack. I've been using a Toomey backpack, which is phenomenal. I love it. But flying, it's too heavy. And so I had to get a lighter weight backpack, which I did. So I'm very happy with it. I haven't used it yet, but I've walked around the house with it.
All right. Listen.
Anyway, with that, hey, let's say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah.
Who's got something they want to say? Anybody? Anything? Going once, going twice? All right. I got one thing to say. I have been all of these cards right here, as you might see. I've got a bunch of cards and a bunch of leads. People that I've been working on getting on the show, but I just haven't had the time to really reaching out to them and wanting them on the show. But stay tuned. We will be having people talking about things other than just what we talked about today. So I want to tell you once again, I appreciate everybody for coming. I appreciate you for watching. Please share the show. Please give it a thumbs up. And one last thing I'll say, remember, you make it happen out there. So everybody, I want you to have a safe and great week and wish me the best of luck in everything that I do, as I wish you the best of luck in everything you do. And until then, make it happen.